I said, hey, yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Mojados, and we're back for another video. Hope you guys are doing well, because today we're going to be discussing everything we talked about last month. Congratulations if you watched last month's video. And for those who missed it, I'm just going to play a quick snippet, because this is exactly what we do on this channel. This video is literally my last video. You guys can go check it out. It's literally from last month, and I spoke about what to look for when going long on Bitcoin, and I supported my arguments. And let's take a listen here on what we did, but also you want to stick around to the end, because you don't want to miss what I expect again is going to happen next. Of course, we're going to look at a bunch of things like on-chain metrics, RSI, volume, dominance across the chart, using multiple indicators to try to form the best conclusion possible. And if you guys were watching again last month's video, you guys should be chilling 40% up easily if you just followed along with my strategy. And again, none of this is financial advice anyways, but whether or not you're taking as financial advice, the point is knowledge here that one can take away from, right? So again, let's just take a quick listen. Let's just see exactly what we're looking at, right? This is again last month. You can see here 4 weeks ago, and yeah, let's take a quick listen here. And then a reclaim. So what you want is the same exact thing to happen here, right? So you see this is the big move down. This is the current flush. Now the confirmation to go long for me is a reclaim of the range. So that is what I'm waiting for, and that's kind of how you can play it. It's very, very simple, and that's literally it, guys. I swear to you, you can't make this shit up. It is that fucking simple, and that's exactly what we did. Unfortunately, I don't have my Twitter account active right now. I'm still battling to get that back. But guys, we spoke about that last month. We saw the range get reclaimed. I'm not going to tell you how to long, what strategies to use. There's millions of ways to enter with the range. But I told you the main point is I'm waiting for the reclaim of this range. A reclaim happened here. There's definitely multiple ways on how you can enter that. But I'm not going to sit here tell you how, because you can use multiple things like Fibonacci levels, using EMAs, using RSI. You can use just the level itself to potentially go long. And what you saw is exactly that. Right when we broke the range, we saw a 40% move off of the range. But in the video, guys, it was at 16.7. So if you longed it from that low, 44% gain, guys. It's absolutely crushing. And sometimes patience is needed, because look at that, we didn't get a move exactly at the moment we saw that video, but you must be patient, right? No action is an action. Patience is literally the name of the game, especially if you're trying to become a trader, right? And guys, you saw the move off of the range, and you're seeing that continuation here. And guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I still believe 25K is in the cards. I know the RSI is bearishly diverging here, but I don't give a shit, right? And that's just the true reality here. Because whether or not we do retrace, it's possible we see some type of move down and then we go up again. It's very, very possible that it could play out in multiple different ways. It can even come back down, right, and come back up again, right? It's very, very possible. But in my opinion, right, I think 25K will be tapped, because there's more liquidity resting above here. Now, of course, I'm going to be fully transparent. Could I be wrong? Could it not go up 25K? Of course it might not. Of course it's possible. We're in the business of, forecasting. But for the most part, if you're in this long, how do you protect yourself? Push your stop losses higher, right? If you did long from here, put your stop loss higher, right? I'm not going to tell you where to put it, but don't let yourself lose all your gains. And that's just my strategy, right? I'm not telling you how to play it. I don't know what the hell you guys are doing, whether you're holding for 1 year, 2 years. I don't know what your strategy is, guys, but I'm just sharing with you how you can protect yourself, and in different ways, of course. I could be wrong, but we were not wrong here at 16.7, catching this whole move up here, with the 40% spread. So you can catch anything in between there. Good for you. But the point of it all was to put these dots together and give us an idea of what we expect next. And I still do believe 25K is in the cards, and after 25K, depending on how we get there, guys, that's the main thing, right? Whether we continue chopping slowly, that's going to definitely make me more bearish. Or whether we go out there in a straight line, that's definitely going to change as well, because that could mean that we may go higher, up to 30K even, right? Because the momentum is still there. There's still a lot of steam left in the move, right? So there's a lot of things to understand, right? It's not so black and white. For the most part, There are moments in times where the market is more obvious than others. But again, you know, could this be the macro bottom? Could this be the actual bottom? It's possible, right? It's possible. First, you see a local low get created, and then you see a macro bottom, right? No one knows if that's the macro bottom. No one can tell you that this is the bottom. That's it. Nobody can. Unless you have a goddamn money printer, everyone that's saying that is just using technical analysis to the best of their ability, but no one knows. Now, I've said this again on that same video. You guys can go ahead and watch it on this playlist, that this could be a local low that turns into a macro bottom, and what we're seeing is potentially that, right? This is a very strong move. You're seeing a lot of volume, a lot of upside momentum that could tell us that, hey, listen, we're gonna get a big move, and a lot of people are liquidated off this move as well. So that's another reason why we could believe that this is a local bottom that turns into a macro bottom, but it's not so sure, right? And you know, again, and the reason I'm being like that, guys, is because, you know, I was being bullish at this area here, right? Talking especially about reclaiming this low. But now I'm starting to be not as bullish, right? Because now we've seen a 40% move. Yes, there's more potential to the upside here, but it's not so black and white. Now, again, I want to reinforce that I still believe 25K is in the cards, and then we would retrace. I don't know exactly to where, but we're going to see how that plays out. Now, I want to go back to the BLX chart, which is, whoops, wrong chart. So BLX here, this is going to give us the whole chart, the whole entire Bitcoin history, basically, right? And just focus on some key things in case you missed the last video. So Bitcoin is at a level where the RSI is basically, you know, was basically at a historical low, right? And anytime it comes down to this level on the 2-week, you know, 40, it acts as a support region. And when that was another thing that we spoke about, and you're seeing exactly that on a support level. We're seeing the RSI at basically a support level as well. And what did you get? Exactly a 20% or 40% move off of the low. So again, you know, this is what we're talking about, combining multiple elements, multiple indicators to give us an idea of where we think the market is heading is where you want to be, especially if you're trying to come to a reasonable conclusion backed by some evidence, right? And here we are, we're getting a move up. Now the question is, what can we expect? Now, usually, you know, sometimes we've seen, yes, we get a move up like we did in 2019 and then a retrace back down here like we saw in 2020. Is it possible that we put in a wave 1 and a 2 and then maybe go up again? That's very, very possible. But don't always expect history to repeat itself. And I want to be very, very clear about that, because if you look at Bitcoin, right, you see a blow off top and then a correction. You see a blow off top and then a correction. Again, a blow off top and then a correction. But guess what? For the first time in history, Bitcoin is breaking the rules, putting in a double top here, right? You're also seeing for the first time in Bitcoin history, this low touching a previous high over here. That's never happened before, right? And these are things you must pay attention to. The trend is starting to change, okay? And you're also seeing other on-chain metrics as well, where hash rate is hitting an all-time high. But remember, we're not pretty much topping out. Anytime hash rate hit an all-time high, basically, you know, we saw a drop, right? And you can look at this historically, hash rate hitting all-time high here like it did in May 2021, and then a big drop following it, right? So, you know, it's not really, you know, as black and white as one can assume, but it's something to look at. It's something to understand and try to put into, you know, place. Obviously, I'm not trying to just push things to fit my bias, but again, it's something to understand because, of course, we're in an environment that we've never seen Bitcoin in, right? We see inflation hitting all-time highs. We're seeing the Federal Reserve, which is pretty much, they're going to have a meeting in about 13 minutes. But essentially, all these things happening, but Bitcoin never existed in the middle of a recession, in the middle of inflation, in the middle of all this chaos. And so we must take that into consideration. Of course, you know, I'm going to be focusing on the charts, but it's something to consider and something to understand that things are definitely not as black and white as it seems. And to me, I'm going to be honest with you guys, this whole move can be erased, right, by coming up to this high here and then actually going low again. And the reason why I say that, guys, is because in Elliott wave, when you see 5 waves up, okay, what you usually see is an ABC correction pretty much coming back down, right? So you can see some type of ABC that plays out like this, right? And the reason why I'm saying that is because a wave has crossed into wave 3 territory, and that never happens in a 5-wave move unless the environment is changing, and that is a possibility. Now, could I be wrong, right? is it possible that Mo is wrong? Of course it's possible I could be fucking wrong. But look at the fucking history, right? Why is it that wave 2 never crossed into, like under wave, the beginning of wave 1, right? Why is it that wave 4 never crossed into wave 1 territory, right? And again, why is it that for the first time in Bitcoin history, after a bull market, after putting in a high, that we've first, starting to see this level being broken, right? And again, it's basically what I'm trying to say here is that, something is changing. I don't know exactly how it's going to play out, but I want you guys to look at this and understand that it's possible, right? I'm going to put up a photo here to give you guys an idea of what could potentially be happening. And the main thing here is that A crosses into wave 4 territory, which is exactly what happens here. A crosses into wave 3 and 4 territory, and that only happens after a 5-wave move up. Now, of course, I could be wrong, and I'm going to keep saying that because the point is that we're looking at the data, we're looking at things that in ways that are possible, okay? And of course, many ways it can play out, but ideally the macro structure, the whole entire thing that we're looking at is giving us ideas that it's possible that we get a move up that takes us to definitely, up to 40K, where people start calling for a new bull market, but it's possible that we come back lower, and I've just shared why. So something to keep in the back of your mind, something that I'm gonna continue to watch out for, so make sure you're liking and subscribing this video, because when the time does arrive, if I start seeing signs that, hey, listen, we're pretty much putting in a B wave and we're going lower, I'm gonna be very clear about that, okay? And it's important to play level by level, and of course, I wanna be as transparent as possible. So with that, I want to also move on to the Coinbase chart here that also gave us hints on the bottom being in, and you guys can see here it's very, very clear. It's not a secret at all, right? We talked about this in the last video, but just to highlight it again, you see a range here, right? 2015 bottom, basically liquidity shuffling through both sides, stopping them out and reclaiming the range with nice volume to follow through with it. Same thing in 2017, you get a nice flush in the range, you see volumes peaking as well, right? You get this nice little flush right there. You get a move up and then a reclaim, which then takes us higher. Same thing here in 2023. Is this the local low confirmed? Because we get the volume spike that we need. We're seeing a flush on the bottom here, which takes people out in their stop losses, and then a move to the range high, which is going to be interesting because the follow through is going to help me understand whether or not this was just a dead cat, whether this was just another flush that takes us lower. And again, my opinion is that we're going to go to 25K first, and then depending on how we get there, what the volume looks like, then we can reassess and say, okay, wait a minute, maybe it's not as clear as we thought. And then maybe we might go lower, maybe we don't. But so far, on a monthly basis, we've been crushing it here, okay? So, we caught this move all the way up, and now we're waiting for 25K. That's my idea for now. And of course, once we get to 25K or whatever the fuck happens and how it happens, we'll reassess. But definitely, if you're in, you can move your stop losses up if you want, if you're trading. But if your strategy is different, if you're dollar cost averaging for years ahead, then of course, do whatever is best for your strategy. I'm not sitting here telling you exactly how to play it, but I'm just showing you why I believe what I expect. And so far, we've been right about that. So that's some things that you can pay attention to. And I also want to pivot towards stablecoin dominance. So this is something that you guys want to take a look at, is USDC and USDT dominance combined. And every single time you've seen this basically drop or rise, it's kind of confluent with the crypto market. When this goes up, crypto market is dropping. When this is going down, you're actually seeing crypto take off, right? So actually since November and December, we can see here, we kind of had a flat line, and this whole rise that we're seeing right now in the crypto market has been fueled by people kind of going out of stable coins into pretty much cryptocurrencies. So that's cool as well. And we've also spoke about what we think is going to happen here for the total chart, talking about this level being reclaimed here at 1.13 trillion, which would then confirm that the crypto market bottom is in. And it's not just Bitcoin, it's not just anything else. This is going to be all of crypto, the bottom being in, right? Because this level is basically like a range that we spoke about, ranging sideways, taking out liquidity from the top, taking out liquidity from the bottom, ranging for a long time, making people impatient, and then reclaiming the range And of course, it's going to catch a lot of people off guard because they're not going to really know what the fuck this chart even means in the first place. But when we do reclaim this 1.13 trillion, man, the bottom will be in, and you will see me making a video pretty much saying that's it, the bottom's in. I'm going to literally say the bottom's in, and I'm going to explain why, like I have been throughout this video, looking at multiple different indicators and trying to come to a reasonable conclusion based off of facts and reason, and using some logic along with that. But that's pretty much the indicators that I'm looking at. And I want to take a look at on-chain metrics here as well, just to kind of, touch on a few other things as well, and kind of, give some more reasoning behind my thesis here. But we've talked about active addresses, and anytime there's a divergence between price and active addresses, when price is going down and addresses are going up, you see the bottom of the market. You see that here in 2018, proving that that's when the bull market is starting. And you're also seeing that again all the way from July 2021 here, and also all the way to December 2022 here, proving that when these addresses are going up, that could be the potential local bottom, which will maybe then soon turn into a macro bottom. You're also seeing a new indicator here, the 5-year hodl wave chart. So this is also very credible. Almost 30% of all Bitcoin holders have held their Bitcoin for over 5 fucking years. Incredible, incredible behavior. This is what you want to see in an asset class that is proving to people that they are willing to hold a asset as a store of value against inflation, against censorship, to prove to them that, hey, listen, if you guys don't get your act together, then guess what? We're going to be continuously adding into other asset classes. So this is obviously incredible behavior. You're also seeing one Bitcoin addresses rise as well. So you have people also jumping in here, buying Bitcoin if they can. And this is also incredible behavior, rising along with the tide. And 100 Bitcoin addresses as well. So this is very, very good news. But I want to also share some other things, right? I've shared why I believe Bitcoin may be in a B wave, which then only takes us lower. And I've talked about reasons why, again, the market could be bullish. And, I give both perspectives, right? And right now, when you look at on-chain, I showed you reasons why I believe it can go up. But there's other signs concerning, which basically is this 1,000 BTC address count, which is actually dropping. And this is not bullish at all. This is actually pretty bearish. And it's not a completely bad thing, right? Now, some people might say it is. Some people might say it's not. But maybe it's just whales rotating into altcoins. And maybe this is why we're seeing, of course, this wave 5, which is basically an A wave, coming down to this wave 4 territory from price action standpoint, happening, right? Because these people are selling Bitcoin, and their selling pressure is a lot, right? It's 1,000 Bitcoins per address. So it's definitely not a little bit of Bitcoin, and there definitely is more selling pressure when we look at this on-chain side. But they definitely have stopped selling as much. So that's partially why we've seen this rise take place with not that much of a resistance, or, people kind of stopping it, essentially, like whales are shutting it down and just dumping. So that's kind of good, but it's going to be interesting to see how this, of course, plays out. And also, I've showed this already, mining difficulty. This is good. Hash rate is increasing, which is also a very good sign. Healthy network, but there is some controversy around the mining pools that is quote unquote centralized, which is definitely a fair argument. And I'm one of the people that likes to use logic and reason, and there's about 3 pools that control about 70% of all hash power. So again, I'm not gonna sit here and go on one single side per se, but it's good to look at both arguments so you can understand and know the differences, so that if you're talking to somebody, that why they might dislike or like it, right? And also you want to know these things so that you can understand the risks of your investment, right? So with that, we've shared a lot of things about why we believe what's going to happen next. I still, again, just to reiterate, I think 25K is in the cards. Depending on how we subdivide, how much volume and follow through there is behind the move, that will definitely sway my opinion in maybe one direction or another. But for the most part, We spoke about this bottom being in the last month's video, and we were right. 40% spread, booyah, baby, if you took advantage of that. And I'm very happy, guys, because this is living proof that if you trade for 5 years, you stay persistent in the market like I have, you will be able to catch these kind of moves. Of course, there'll be days you're wrong, but at the end of the day, you want to be consistently and actively working towards your goals so that you can ensure the best possible outcome. And with that, guys, I appreciate you for making it to the end of the video. Please like and subscribe again if you have not already. And as always, hodl, hodl, hodl. Peace.